Aung San Suu Kyi, bonjour.
Bonjour.
Merci de cet entretien.
C'est un plaisir.
Hier, vous avez eu un léger malaise ici en Suisse. On est heureux de voir que vous allez mieux.
Yes, very much better, thank you.
Dans le monde entier, on admire votre résistance et physique et morale quand vous étiez en résidence surveillée pendant la campagne. Maintenant, comment est-ce que vous tenez?
I think from conviction and also from friends, like you, like Switzerland.
Quand vous avez reçu votre passeport, c'était un événement, ça faisait tellement d'années que vous n'en aviez pas. Vous vous souvenez ce moment où vous avez tenu de nouveau le passeport, la liberté?
Not actually, because somebody else went to get the passport for me, and when I first saw it, I was surprised because it had shrunk in size. It's much smaller than it used to be.
La liberté d'esprit, vous dites que vous l'avez toujours eue, mais maintenant c'est la liberté enfin de voyager après 24 ans. Premier parfum de liberté en Suisse, c'était comment?
Until yesterday, I really didn't know what I felt about this travel because it had been such an exhausting time preparing for it. But this morning, I woke up very early because I'm still on Burma time, and I looked out of the window and saw Ben asleep in the night. And I suddenly realized that for me, that in many ways it's a voyage of discovery, discovering things that I had lost track of.
Les changements en Birmanie, notre conseiller fédéral Didier Burkhalter l'a annoncé hier, ouvrir une ambassade en Birmanie, mais à condition que le chemin vers la démocratie continue. Ça, c'est la bonne méthode?
I think so. I believe in engagement, and I like the fact that Switzerland is opening an embassy in Rangoon. It's very good for both countries to have closer relations, and that in itself will help the process of democratization.
Qu'est-ce que vous attendez maintenant du pouvoir? Le prochain pas, le prochain geste de la part du pouvoir, c'est quoi?
Switzerland and other countries all around the world want to help Burma at this moment. I think it is because they realize that there's a lot of potential in our country. But the help has to come in the right way. Yesterday at the International Labour Conference, I spoke of democracy-friendly development. We would like to see that whatever aid or help, development help, humanitarian help, investments, that they should all be aimed at helping along the process of democratization.
Le danger que l'économie de marché se développe, mais pas la démocratie, comme en Chine, est-ce que ça existe en Birmanie?
Of course, there's such a risk anywhere in the world because a lot of people are interested in the potential for investment. And investors are investing because they hope for profits, which is perfectly natural. We accept that. But while at the same time they work for their own profits, I would like them to also see to the benefits of our country.
On vous a comparé à Nelson Mandela. Est-ce que c'est une comparaison qui vous convient?
Very difficult for me to think of myself as Nelson Mandela or somebody like him because I'm not a man. And I think that's a very big difference, apart from, of course, the differences in background of our countries. But I have always been very inspired by the struggle for apartheid in South Africa. And I was under house arrest at the time when Nelson Mandela was freed and when he was elected president. All these I heard on the radio while I was under house arrest. So in many ways, I do identify with the South African struggle for freedom.
On dit aussi Mandela de Klerk, Madame Aung San Suu Kyi et de Tencent. Est-ce que c'est un couple? Est-ce qu'il faut un couple comme ça pour changer la Birmanie?
Quite frankly, I think Mr. de Klerk and President U Thein Sein are two very, very different kinds of people. And the situation is slightly different. What I think we need in Burma, as I have said repeatedly, is not just for President U Thein Sein to stand for reform, but the rest of his government, and particularly for the military to commit itself to the democratization process.
Sur une échelle de 1 à 10, la Birmanie en termes de démocratie, où est-ce qu'elle est maintenant?
Somebody asked me that question recently and I said we're trying to get to 1.
Ouais. Il y a un petit progrès, on va vers 2 ou pas encore?
Well, let's say that we're now at 1 and trying to get to 2.
Oslo, le prix Nobel, ça fait 21 ans qu'on vous l'a donné. Seulement aujourd'hui, vous pouvez le prendre. Quelle pensée au moment de le recevoir enfin?
I will not know what will go through my mind until I'm actually there, but I'm very much looking forward to the opportunity to thank the people of Norway for the way in which they have stood by us through the very, very difficult years. And that is the main reason why I always said that Norway would be the very first country I would visit if I could. Now, it's not quite this way because I've been to Thailand and I've been to Switzerland, but still Norway will be one of the very first countries I visit because I want to thank the Norwegian people.
Vous irez en France, en Grande-Bretagne. Qu'est-ce que vous demandez à François Hollande, à David Cameron? Qu'est-ce qu'ils peuvent faire pour vous?
There are different things that can be done for Burma, and each country will have to go about it in the same way. But it's got to be based on what we can do for the people of Burma, not for the government of Burma, or not even for our party, but for the people of Burma. What can they do to empower the people of Burma so that democracy will be safe in their hands, not in the hands of any group or party?
Le monde entier veut vous voir, il veut être photographié avec vous. Ici au Palais fédéral, tout le monde veut être à côté de vous sur la photo. Il y a une photo qui était frappante, c'est celle de vous avec Hillary Clinton. Est-ce que là, il s'est passé quelque chose? Les États-Unis, Hillary Clinton ont compté pour vous, comptent pour vous?
The visit of Hillary Clinton, you mean? Yes, it was a very important moment for the National League for Democracy and all those people who want democratization in Burma, because it showed that the United States was taking a step forward in engaging with our country. And I have never been in favor of isolation. I have supported various actions taken against a military regime, but I've never been in favor of isolating them. Engagement is so very much better. And Secretary Clinton's visit meant that the engagement process was going forward.
Vous avez été en résidence surveillée pendant plusieurs périodes, mais au total presque 20 ans. Comment est-ce que vous avez tenu?
Well, if you're under house arrest, you don't have to hang on, you're just there. But there were many things that I could do which were important for me. I could read, I could think. Nowadays, I have hardly time to read or think, and sometimes I think I miss the leisure I had when I was under house arrest. And I kept in touch with what was happening in the rest of the world through the radio. But I never thought of it as particularly difficult, just unreal. It does not quite seem like a real existence.
Quand on vous demande des modèles, je suis frappé de ce que vous dites. Vous dites Marie Curie. Pourquoi Marie Curie?
Because of her dedication, her commitment, her determination. Whatever path you choose in life, if you pursue it with dedication and with commitment until the very end, to me that's something very admirable, and that is what she did.
Il y a un mot qui revient souvent chez vous, c'est le devoir. Hein. Ça me frappe toujours le mot devoir.
Yes, I think duty is very important, because a sense of duty is what helps people to keep straight. Because there's so many temptations in our world, and we're all human. But if you have a strong sense of duty, I think it always brings you back to the straight way.
C'est votre manière de se tenir très droite. Hein. On a l'impression que c'est une volonté de tenue morale et physique.
Yes, and also physically, of course, I keep straight because I'm a small person and I have to keep straight in order not to appear even smaller. But you can use that as a metaphor. It's a sense of duty that keeps people straight and tall. And if you lose that sense of duty, you're diminished.
Vous avez un père qui a été un héros de l'indépendance, qui était un guerrier, on peut dire ça?
He was, to begin with, he was a student activist working for independence. And he became a general. He became the leader of the Burmese army when it was first formed, because it was part of his quest for independence. He was not a military man because he liked violence or fighting, but in a letter to Lord Mountbatten, he said that there were many aspects of military life that appealed to him, and I think by that he meant disciplined. He was an extremely disciplined man. He had self-discipline, and I think there were aspects of military behavior that he thought helped to maintain discipline.
Ce qui force l'admiration, c'est les sacrifices que vous avez dû faire. Votre mari qui est mort loin de vous, vos enfants loin de vous. Est-ce qu'à un moment donné, vous avez été tenté d'abandonner?
First of all, I've never considered that a sacrifice, because if you say that you've made a sacrifice, I always say it sounds as though you're wanting something back for it. And it was not a sacrifice, it was a choice. It was a choice I chose to make. And I think if there were any sacrifices, those were on the part of my husband and sons.
Beaucoup de Birmans sont morts, beaucoup ont été torturés. Encore aujourd'hui, il y a des moines, il y a des étudiants en prison. Est-ce qu'on peut pardonner?
It is not for me to forgive. It is for the victims themselves to decide whether they forgive or do not forgive. For myself, I don't consider that I have anything to forgive anybody. I don't think that anybody has done anything to me that I would need to forgive.
Est-ce qu'il faudra juger le général Than Shwe, juger les responsables?
That has never been my policy. I believe more in reconciliation than in retribution.
Quelques mots en français. Est-ce que c'est vrai que vous avez appris le français sur des cassettes audio pendant que vous étiez en résidence surveillée? C'est vrai ça?
Et je suis très très nerveuse parce que mon français est très mauvais.
Non, vous parlez
Mais
très bien.
j'aime beaucoup la Suisse et les peuples suisses qui sont très très gentils. Et je vous remercie.
Ce sera votre anniversaire le 19 juin.
Oui.
C'est dans quelques jours.
Vrai.
Qu'est-ce qu'on
Oui.
peut vous souhaiter? En anglais, si vous voulez.
No, I'm thinking. What can you wish me? Le bonheur pour mon pays.
Alors, beaucoup de bonheur et pour vous aussi, bonne chance. Merci, Aung San Suu Kyi, de cet entretien. Merci beaucoup.
Merci beaucoup. Vous êtes très gentil.